In the previous video of this video series on effective online teaching and learning, we have seen how to deliver the learning material to the students. In this video, the focus is to learn how to design and conduct learning activities in asynchronous teaching and learning. There are many online learning activities which are available for the faculty members and the teachers to use when they teach in an asynchronous manner. These activities can be discussion forum, online quiz, online portfolio, wiki, and there are actually hundreds of tools available which can be easily used by the teachers. But the most important aspect that we need to learn and use is that we have to ensure that students have gone through or read or used the learning material which we have delivered in the way we expect. Because asynchronous teaching is heavily dependent on learning activities. We know asynchronous means there is no need of presence of the teachers and students at the same time for a video interaction. That is why in asynchronous, because of the lack of regular need of real-time video interactions, it is very important that the learning activities are designed and conducted regularly in an effective manner. One of the key principles of effective teaching in asynchronous mode of teaching and learning is that students should know the expectations of the teacher. They should know the grading criteria and they should know what they need to do, the deliverables, very clearly before they start participating in the learning activities. So some examples of asynchronous learning activities which can be done are online discussion forums, online database or portfolio, online quiz, wiki, online workshops, and online assignments. Let's talk about these all learning activities one by one. And please keep in mind, these are just the sample of learning activities we can do. Like asynchronous discussions are actually discussions which are online over an extended period of time. There are many discussion forums online which are available, and if you are using an LMS like a Moodle or Blackboard, then these LMS also provide online discussion forum tools which the faculty members can easily use. There are different types of forums which can be created, like a standard forum where any student can start new discussion anytime, or a forum where each student can post only one discussion, or the forum can take a shape of question and answer also. For example, students actually can just ask a question or they can give an answer also, but they have to first post something before viewing the posts of others. These discussion forums also allow attachment of files. So students can also subscribe to these forums and they can receive email notification or notification in their smartphones if they are using the mobile version of LMS, and they can get the notifications of any new post coming in the discussion forums. There are some forum features like blocking the students to put the posts if they are doing too many posts, or limiting the maximum number of posts from any student to prevent any individual dominating the online discussions. The forums can be used actually for a lot of purposes. For example, for announcements in a course. It can also become a social space for students to get to know each other. It can also be used as a discussion platform to discuss the course content or reading material. It can also be used as a one-to-one support for private student-teacher communications. It can also be used for extension activities like brain teasers, where students can be asked to think, to ponder, and to suggest solution to a problem given by the teacher. Another example of learning activity which can easily be done is the use of database or e-portfolio, where learners can be guided to create, maintain, and search a collection of entries or records. For example, it can be used in a collaborative manner for a collaborative collection of web links, books, book reviews, journal references, etc. Or to display student created photos, student created posters, websites, blogs, or poems for peer comments and for review. Another activity which is very easy to do is online quiz. Most of the LMS like Moodle, they have tools where very easily faculty member can create the online quiz comprising of questions of various types including multiple choice, matching questions, short answer questions, or numerical questions. These quiz can be also scheduled for answering multiple times by a student, or it can be restricted to only one time answers from the students. The questions can be shuffled or questions can be randomly selected from question bank. So faculty members actually can make a question bank of suppose 100 questions, and they can make a setting that there can be 5 quiz, each quiz with 15 questions or 10 questions, and those questions will be shuffled from the question bank. That is the advantage of using the online tool. Also, many LMS, they have a feature where this online quiz can be conducted with a time limit for the students. Online quiz as a tool can be used for course exams or as mini tests for reading assignments or at the end of the topic to check the understanding of the students. It can also be used as exam practice using questions from the past exams or to deliver immediate feedback about performance of the students. It can also be used by students for self-assessment before the exams. The next activity which can be easily done is assignments. Assignments are used to communicate the tasks or to collect the students' work or to provide the grades and feedback to the students. Assignments allow the students to submit any kind of digital content, or they can also type the text directly into a text field in the LMS like Moodle. Now, when reviewing assignments, teachers can leave feedback comments, and they can also upload the files after putting the comments in the files. These comments are very important for students to find the gaps in their learning and understanding so that they can have a better quality learning. So the files which the faculty members can upload are the marked up student submissions, documents with comments, and audio feedback is also possible. So many LMS now allow the faculty members to record the audio and then upload the audio. Another very interesting tool or learning activity is the use of wiki. We all know what is wiki. Wikipedia is actually consisting of collection of wikis. So learners or students can add and edit a collection of web pages on LMS like Moodle. It can be also a creative collaborative effort, or it can be individual effort also. So the faculty member can actually ask the students in groups to come up with a wiki for a given topic, and students can collaboratively author the article or an online book, or they can create an online content on a topic using wiki. It can also be used for collaborative storytelling or poetry creation, or learners can write a line or verse also to complete a story. It can also be used by the students as a personal journal for examination notes or revision. Now, these online activities can also become assessment tools. Most of the LMS, they enable numerical or custom scale or other advanced grading methods such as using rubrics for assessment. In addition to that, LMS tools like Moodle, it allows peer assessments also. What is a peer assessment? A peer assessment is an assessment method where students assess each other submissions, and they use a multi-criteria assessment form to assess each other's submissions. Now, these multi-criteria assessment forms are generally defined by the teacher. The teacher creates those kind of forms, and they first train the students how to assess each other's submission. So the process and understanding the assessment form and a practice in advance with the example submissions with the help of the teacher with the reference assessment is very important before the implementation of peer assessments. And the submissions and reviewers of these peer assessments can also be anonymous. It's a very interesting method because assessments in this case becomes a learning method for the students. In addition to the learning activities, online feedback is also possible. Immediate online feedback by the teachers or by the students, both are possible in asynchronous teaching and learning using LMS, or it can be also used over Google Forms. Online surveys and online questionnaires can be easily created using LMS like Moodle, and the outcome of these surveys will be the adjustment or improvement in the teaching, or to find a problem which the students are facing, and we can provide support solutions for them. These surveys can also help in diagnosing the learning gaps of the students. So in total, how an ideal asynchronous teaching looks like. So there are 6 steps. Some of them can be done parallelly also, but there are 6 things we need to do. The first is that the teacher uploads the learning material and instructions on how to use each of this learning material very clearly over the LMS. Step 2 is design duration bound learning activities based on the learning material and share the expectations with the students. For example, they can say, okay, the first step, I have uploaded an article. Students, please go through the article, read the article, make notes, and be ready for the learning activity, which will be a quiz based on this article content. So the step 2 is the quiz here. Step 3 is the completion of the learning activities by the students. So now students have actually appeared for the quiz and they have received the grades or the immediate feedback, because many quiz you can actually write the answers in the LMS, and the moment students finish the quiz they can see the right answers or the correct answers, and they can get immediate marks based on the online quiz. So immediate feedback is also given here, step 4. And step 5, which is actually a thing which we need to do parallelly, is the regular release of grades and feedback for the students to use the continuous assessment practice. Also, regular feedback from students using online chatting is also important, and some synchronous meeting to solve the students' queries is also important. Now, what are the benefits of asynchronous learning? We have seen how asynchronous teaching and learning works. Essentially, in asynchronous learning and asynchronous teaching, what is happening is that in place of online real-time interaction over a video tool like Zoom, students are asked to go through a learning material that, for example, the notes, articles, cases, video made by the faculty member, or a video of a third party, a YouTube video, for example, for the concept. And the students know what to do with those learning material, how to use those learning material, and a faculty member then designs a learning activity which can be done by the students over a week, for example, like an online discussion forum where that can discuss some questions based on a case or an article, and students can be invited that over next week please continue discussions about this article based on these issues, and students can actually come anytime online see the comments of others, discussions, ongoing discussions with the others, and provide their input. And these activities can also be assessed, graded by the faculty member, and regular feedback can be given. So you can see the benefits of asynchronous learning. The topmost benefit is the flexibility. Anytime and any day, the students and the faculty members, they can access the online LMS, or they can access the tools to complete the online assignments, to design the assignments by the faculty members. Students can actually be online anytime. They don't need to be present at the same time for learning. The second benefit of asynchronous learning is peer or social learning, because most of these learning activities are done by the students together. They can see each other's input, they can respond to each other, and they can learn from each other. Also, a structured methods of peer learning can be designed in asynchronous teaching and learning. It means students can learn from each other with the moderation of the faculty member. Students can also suggest learning material. They can be very active and they can find very good quality online resources for various topics, and they can share those resources with other students and with faculty members, and they can also become creators of knowledge here. Asynchronous teaching and learning also enables a lot of creativity. There are a lot of guides available over the internet, there are a lot of resources available on the internet, a lot of ideas are there which we can use, a lot of videos and web pages are there which can be used to learn how to teach any subject using asynchronous mode. It also promotes transparency and evidence keeping, because asynchronous teaching and learning records everything in a way. So it's a two-way interaction recorded by default. For example, online forums, chatting is always a record also. Resources can be shared easily. Regular feedback without any bias can be obtained even anonymously. Activities can be assessed by supervisors, authorities to assess quality. And also gaps can be found which can help in designing training and also to improve online teaching further. So the suggestion for an effective teaching is to combine synchronous and asynchronous modes wisely based on the situation and the need. All over the world, most of the top players are using asynchronous teaching and learning with very limited synchronous tools and limited synchronous interactions. Because asynchronous activities provide a very effective learning, it is student centric, it is also experiential, it is using modern teaching methods and learning methods. So we should not always rely on synchronous teaching. Students also need some hand holding and guidance when going through the asynchronous learning, because in many regions and many times students, they don't have the experience of asynchronous learning. So they also need a lot of counseling and regular counseling from us. And most importantly, the institution should support the faculty members and students to go for asynchronous teaching and learning. Thank you very much for seeing this video. If you have any further question or any suggestions, please feel free to write to me, communicate with me using these email IDs. I'll make it sure that I can respond to your questions or suggestions as fast as I can. Thank you very much.